I applied to 300 software engineering jobs and landed one offer. Here's what happened and what I learned from it. Hi, my name is Kiki. I'm a recent graduate with a computer science degree, and I started my job recently. I actually started applying last summer, so summer of 2020, but it was very on and off from last summer till like maybe June or May. I had probably done like 50 to 60 applications. So it was very light, very not serious. I didn't fully lock in until I had graduated. So that was about early June, like June 11th, I think. By mid-September, I had done about 300 plus applications. So when you're applying to software engineering roles or whatever roles, there are like 3 things you should really be doing. Fixing your resume, doing legal problems, and then doing the actual applying to jobs. Personally, I recommend doing all of these at the same time. You shouldn't be leak coding 1 month, the next month you're applying. I tried that strategy, it really didn't work out. And you really should be seizing all opportunities at any given time. You'll never feel ready, so just start and give it your best. So I'm gonna go over what I did for these 3 and also interview prepping. Just keep in mind that what worked for me might not work for you, so just take everything with a grain of salt. And if you hear something that that might stick with you, hey, take it. Also, just a note, I bit my tongue like earlier this week and it still hurts. So if in this video you catch me having a little lisp, that is the reason why. It still hurts. Firstly, what's very important is your resume. It's the first impression you make, basically. I used to go to a lot of career fairs, conferences, and workshops that had resume reviews, and I would always make sure that I go to them and get the feedback. That's where I got a lot of my feedback from, or early on. I also had a mentor who would further refine my resume, and I think that did help a lot too. So thank you if you're watching this. One thing I learned after getting my resume reviewed from so many people is that you don't need to apply every change or feedback they give you. Everybody have their own preferences, and I think you should just be selective, be intentional with your changes. Take the feedback that aligns with your goals, your style, and just leave the rest. On top of that though, you should also be utilizing ChatGPT. Like, it helped me when I was trying to figure out what I should write in my bullet points. Yeah, just help me better word my experiences. Focus on improving action words, quantifiable results, and adding keywords in your resume to pass the ATS filter. Make sure you're using the XYZ method. It is basically the standard for resumes now. The way it's written, it reads like impact. And one more thing, I did switch from Word doc to LaTeX. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I feel like it did, like, slightly. So I don't know, give it a try. Next up, leetcode. If you've never done leetcode before, the first place I'd recommend is going to leetcode.io and just looking at the LeetCode 150. There's also a really good roadmap that helps you learn topics in the right order. It's like arrays to strings to 2 pointers, whatever. And there's like problems you can do under it. It's pretty helpful. So yeah, there's basically 2 ways to go about doing problems. The first way is by topic, like I just said, like arrays, 2 pointers, sliding windows, and then doing all the problems related to that topic. Or you can do all the easy problems, all the medium problems, and then finally all the hard problems. Personally, I don't think there's the right way to do these problems. Both of these will get you to the end result. What I ended up doing was doing a topic at a time. Now, for actually solving the LeetCode problems, I did not take more than 30 minutes on a problem. I would spend a few minutes reading the problem and understanding the problem and trying to figure out an approach to the problem. If I couldn't figure out an approach that I could code to, I would jump straight to the solution video for that approach. But let's say I'm reading the problem, understanding it, and I'm like, oh, maybe this approach could work. I would code for like 15 minutes. If I can't figure it out, I'm going to hop over to the solution video. I was trying to be really efficient because it's really all about the patterns. So it's better to learn the patterns quickly than get stuck for hours on one problem. What really helped with figuring out an approach, though, was brushing up on my DSA, data structures and algorithms. For that, I went through LeetCode DSA course. I had bought the LeetCode Pro lifetime membership for his site, so I had access to that. But I think any DSA course will do because honestly, the content is the same. There's lots of free YouTube videos out there now. Yeah, but yeah, just brush up on it. Make sure you understand it, and that should create a good foundation for these LeetCode problems to start. Now, doing LeetCode problems is one thing, but staying consistent is another. Try to do at least a problem a day. I struggled with consistency too. Nobody wants to spend their free time doing LeetCode problems, right? It's not that fun. But I guess what really helped was having an accountability group. We would have these sessions once a week, and it would be like a LeetCode or a job app marathon. We would sit at cafes for like hours and just do LeetCode problems or job app or whatever, right? To find a job. Being around people who have the same goals, striving for the same thing is really motivating. And yeah, surround yourself with those type of people. Now, knowing how to solve LeetCode problems or coding problems is important, but if you're not landing any interviews, none of that matters. So my mindset was pretty simple. Keep applying, even if it feels repetitive and hopeless. Just keep shooting your shot and putting in those reps. I was pretty locked in this part. Honestly, this was the easiest part of the process. I was applying to jobs day and night, and even applying at my part-time job on my phone. Because at the end of the day, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. The thing is, job boards can get overwhelming. There are so many options out there now. Personally, the two I use the most were LinkedIn and Job.Right AI. For a short time, I did use Simplify or like the Ripple Match. But after a month, the listings got repetitive and stale, so I kind of just moved away from it. However, I did use Simplify's browser extension to autofill applications, and that saved me so much time. If you're not using that right now, you're missing out on the job. You could have had a job by now. I'm just kidding. But for the extension, you do need to spend some time to set everything up so that it autofills correctly. But once it's dialed in, it makes applying so much easier and faster. Also, at some point in my job search, I did start to tailor my resume towards certain companies I really wanted to work at. I'm not sure if it did help or not, but people did say it's good to do so. Personally, I think my base resume was already pretty strong, so the only thing that it did was added more keywords, but not too much. That was my application applying system. Nothing fancy, just consistency. While I was editing this video, I realized there is no audio for the next clip, so now I'm here re-explaining that next part. But what I was saying was that now that you finally landed an interview, you should be somewhat prepared technically if you've been leet coding consistently, right? A tip here while you're doing your technical interview, while you're coding, you should be talking aloud. You should be talking about what you're doing and your thought process. Interviewers aren't just evaluating or grading your code. Yes, it should work. Yes, it's important. But they're also evaluating how you think and how clearly you can communicate. Now, for the behavioral part of the interview, what really helped me the most was creating 5 to 8 stories. And this could be from your past internship, past school projects, or any leadership role, really anything. The key thing here is that you should be crafting these stories, 1, in the STAR method, and 2, in a way you can manipulate it so that you can answer different types of questions. Basically, it would be the same story. You would say the same story, but from different angles. Also, before the interview, you should always research what the company is about. Research what type of questions they might ask. I also had sample answers to commonly asked questions, and these questions could be like, tell me about a challenge you faced and how you overcame them, or tell me about a time you worked on a team, like team-based questions, right? These stories would become the foundation of my behavioral prep and interview. And the rest of the interview was really just based off vibes and confidence. Be human, be likable, be authentic. Try to make the interview like a conversation. It would make everything a lot enjoyable. Lastly, in the end, you should always ask questions. You're not just being interviewed, you're also trying to see if this company or team is a good fit for you. I said a lot in this video, but I hope something I said really helped you. This was my job search breakdown. If you're still job searching right now, keep on going. We're still in the middle of job search season or recruiting season or whatever it is. You don't need 10 offers, you just need one. So keep going. You got this.